May 2, 2025. A quiet rural community in Pictou County, Nova Scotia, woke to the kind of nightmare no one believes could ever happen here. 6-year-old Lilly. 4-year-old Jack. Gone. No shattered glass. No broken locks. No sound of struggle. Just absence. 2 small beds left empty. 2 futures stolen before anyone could even notice. Neighbors rushed into the woods, their flashlights piercing the dawn. Volunteers combed riversides and farmlands. Helicopters circled. Drones scanned from the sky. Mothers carried water bottles to searchers. Fathers bent their backs to fields. And as hours turned into days, hope began to blur with desperation. But here's the truth, from the very beginning, investigators sensed something was off. Because children do not simply vanish without a trace. Not here. Not anywhere. And if you hear that and still hesitate to subscribe, then ask yourself, what does your silence say? That their lives weren't worth even one click? If so, go into the comments and write it out. Tell the world you chose not to stand for Lilly and Jack. Because predators count on silence. Every unsubscribed viewer becomes another shadow they can hide behind. If you can't give your voice to these 2 children now, then when will you? Don't close this video without subscribing. If you do, admit it publicly, admit that you heard about 2 children vanishing into thin air, and chose to walk away. Then came the first detail. A pink blanket. Lilly's blanket. It was found tangled high in a tree near the family home. No one could explain how it got there. Days later, another piece of that same blanket surfaced. This time, inside a black trash bag in the family's own driveway. 2 fragments of the same item. 2 reminders that this was no ordinary disappearance. Investigators began to ask themselves, was this a clue left behind by accident, or was it a message? And while detectives search for answers, here's the question you must face. Will you help carry their story forward, or will you be another person who lets it fade? If you don't subscribe right now, then put it in the comments. Own it. Right, I chose not to stand with Lilly and Jack. Let the world see your reason. Because silence buries children twice. Once in life and once in memory. And every skipped subscription is another handful of dirt thrown onto their story. Subscribing is not entertainment. It's resistance. It's saying, I won't let 2 missing children vanish into statistics. And if you refuse, then explain why. Explain why their story wasn't worth your voice. Do not let comfort win. Subscribe now, or tell the world why you walked away. The RCMP turned their focus inward. Those closest to the children sat under the glare of suspicion. Polygraphs were administered. Daniel Martel, the stepfather, passed. Their mother, Malihia, passed as well, though the precise questions remained sealed in black ink, redacted from public record. The step-grandmother's results were inconclusive. Her body betrayed her before her answers ever could. And then came the biological father, Pictou Sullivan. Tested. Cleared. But with each result, the case grew stranger. The suspects closest to the children slipped away from suspicion. Yet the children themselves remained missing. And for investigators, the silence screamed louder than any confession. And now the question turns to you. Will you add to that silence, or will you break it? If you don't subscribe right now, then write it in the comments. Say it out loud, I chose silence while 2 children were still missing. Because every unspoken word, every unsubscribed viewer, is another voice that could have carried Lilly and Jack's names but didn't. If you think their story is too uncomfortable to subscribe to, then be honest. Admit that your comfort mattered more than their lives. Do not mistake inaction for neutrality. Neutrality is what predators thrive on. Neutrality is what leaves families begging into the night. And if you hesitate to subscribe, you're not standing on the sidelines, you're standing on the wrong side. Subscribing is not a favor to this channel. It is a signal that you refuse to join the silence that investigators are already battling against. If you won't subscribe, then say it plainly, I won't fight for missing children. Let your own words weigh on you. Because silence doesn't just haunt police files, it buries children twice. Once in the investigation, and once in forgotten memory. Don't let Lilly and Jack be buried by your silence. Subscribe now, or confess why you refuse to. Warrants were filed. Bank accounts scrutinized. Phone records dissected. Video footage pulled from the Cobequid Pass Toll Plaza, a gateway in and out of Nova Scotia. If Lilly and Jack had been taken beyond the province's borders, the trail would be faint, but not invisible. And yet, every lead dried into dust. Every search returned empty. The RCMP could not prove an abduction. They could not prove foul play. But neither could they believe these children simply wandered off. The paradox was unbearable. The truth was missing, just like Lilly and Jack. And here's where you come in. If you won't subscribe, then admit it. Type it in the comments, I looked away while 2 children vanished. Say it out loud and live with it. Because silence doesn't just echo in police stations, it spreads across communities. Every unsubscribed viewer is another locked door, another dead end, another chance investigators will never get back. If you think clicking one button is too much, then be honest. Say, my hesitation was worth more than their lives. Do not confuse waiting with wisdom. Waiting is what killers count on. Waiting is what swallows missing children whole. And if you hesitate, you are not neutral, you are complicit. Subscribing is not an empty gesture. It is the line between remembering and forgetting. Between searching and surrendering. If you refuse, then carry the weight of that refusal. Carry the knowledge that your silence pushed Lilly and Jack further into the dark. They are already missing. Don't let their memory vanish with them. Subscribe now, or confess why you won't. A driver came forward. They claimed they saw 2 small children, hand in hand, walking toward an older woman beside a vehicle. Could it have been them? Were Lilly and Jack lured away by someone they trusted? Or was this just a tragic case of mistaken identity? The RCMP investigated. The public whispered. But the sighting remained unconfirmed. Another possibility. Another maybe. Another road to nowhere. In a case drowning in silence, rumors filled the void. And with every unanswered question, the weight on this community grew heavier. And now the weight shifts to you. If you don't subscribe, then write it in the comments, I chose not to stand with missing children. Admit it to the world. Because silence is not neutral, it's a decision. Every rumor spreads louder than truth when people refuse to amplify the facts. Every unsubscribed viewer becomes another echo chamber for speculation, instead of a voice for Lilly and Jack. If you think rumors matter more than action, then say it plainly, I left these children to whispers. Do not underestimate your absence. Your silence is not invisible, it is another stone laid on top of their memory, pressing them deeper into the shadows. If you won't subscribe, acknowledge it. Say it, I allowed silence to bury their story. Subscribing is not about this channel. It is about breaking the cycle where missing children vanish from headlines, replaced by gossip and forgotten faces. If you won't do it, then confess you chose comfort over justice. Because here is the truth, every click matters. Every voice matters. And if you withhold yours, you are not helping the search, you are helping the silence. Subscribe now, or carry the weight of admitting you refused. 3 months have passed. And the silence is unbearable. Vigils burn through the night. Teddy bears sag against fences, their colors fading under the weather. Candles melt into the pavement, their wax pooling like tears no one can wipe away. Strangers leave flowers for children they never met, because silence is the only thing that has filled their absence. The Nova Scotia government has placed a reward, $150,000, for answers. For any lead that might bring Lilly and Jack home. But so far, the silence remains unbroken. And here is the hardest truth, silence does not just protect predators. Silence buries children twice. Once in life. and once in memory. And now the question becomes, will you help break that silence, or will you add to it? If you will not subscribe, then admit it in the comments, I chose not to fight for them. Say it out loud. Let your refusal echo as clearly as your silence already does. Every unsubscribed viewer makes this vigil weaker. Every voice withheld is another flame extinguished. If you refuse to subscribe, then you are not neutral. You are standing with the silence that predators pray for. Do not hide behind comfort. Comfort is the coffin where missing children are laid to rest when the world decides their stories are too heavy. If you won't subscribe, confess it. Confess that your comfort mattered more than their chance at justice. Subscribing is not for me. It is for them. It is a signal that you will not allow silence to close this case. That you will not allow memory to fade into rumor and dust. And if you choose not to, let your own words condemn you. I let silence win. So now, the question turns to you. You. The viewer. The listener. You who has heard their names, Lilly and Jack. If you can watch this story and turn away, if you can hear their cries echoing through court records, through vigils, through every desperate search, and still walk on with your life unchanged, then you are choosing the same silence that has already swallowed them. Every skipped share. Every unsubscribed click. Every moment of hesitation, it all adds to the weight that keeps these children lost. Do you want that on your conscience? Do you want to be another voice that looked away while their lives disappeared? If you will not subscribe, then write it in the comments. Admit it, I chose silence while 2 children were still missing. Let your refusal be seen. Because if 2 children can vanish in plain sight, while a nation searches, while warrants are filed, while candles burn, then silence is not neutrality. Silence is complicity. Every second you hesitate is another second that predators count on. Do you really want to let that happen? Every unsubscribed viewer strengthens the quiet that lets these stories fade. Every moment you choose comfort over action is another chance lost. If you won't subscribe, confess it. Say it, I allowed silence to win. This is not just Lilly and Jack's story. It is every child's story. The unanswered questions. The broken systems. The evidence that doesn't add up. The moments of silence that allowed tragedy to stretch further than it ever should have. And until the truth is found, their names must not fade. So ask yourself now, will you carry them forward, or will you let them vanish again into silence? If you refuse to subscribe, then write it in the comments. Admit it to the world, I chose silence while children disappeared. Let your words carry the weight of your decision. Every click, every voice matters. Every unsubscribed viewer strengthens the quiet that predators rely on. Every moment of hesitation is another day Lilly and Jack are left unaccounted for. If you will not act, at least acknowledge it. Confess it. Say it aloud, I chose not to stand for them. Subscribing is not a favor. It is your stand against the silence that buries children twice, once in life, and once in memory. It is your choice to be part of the search, part of the fight, part of the memory that refuses to fade. The lost kids of Nova Scotia, Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Their story is not over. And neither is your responsibility. Click subscribe now. Speak their names. Do not let the silence claim another life, or your conscience.